Welcome back, everyone, to VCT Americas, where it went the distance and then some. They're on map number 2. It took triple OT and eventually a defensive-sided victory sideshow for NRG to push us to a third and final map.
Good God, I didn't think there were any of the teams were going to be able to win a defense round at any point there. But I think it showcases how good the comps are at being able to, push away that early round aggression, get into a plant. However, those comps are also supposed to be really good at retakes, and they just could not figure out how to get it done. Both teams at like 20% retake win rate.
Yeah, I think ultimately it came down to the Jet versus Raze difference in the comps, because that Raze had the nades, had the satchels. Artist was able to take sight, take space, take fights. It was really, really good delay, for the plants and everything. And I feel like on the defense side, his nades managed to help them get the round at the end of the day. The way that he was playing it, his satchels were really, really good. Meanwhile, he just kind of got denied anything the whole time. And obviously, once he switched to the Vandal, he started getting more impact. But then again, it's like he doesn't have nades, he doesn't have delay, he just has space taking.
Yeah, to that end, Sideshow, we got to go all the way back to round number 9 to get a good example of it. But we did see NRG doing work to contain heat on the Jet.
Yeah, and this is an example where he's not even opping, but look at that. I mean, he's got smoke in his face, flash in his face, Cascade pushing him back as well. There's just so many moments like this, and when he was picking up an operator, he even tried it in OT one time, where he was just stuck on the site with an op in his hand, and he's got no way of knowing where people are coming from, got no value, just caught out. So, yeah, I think that they did a great job of neutralizing that threat, and that was something that they weren't able to contain on Icebox. He just ran over them, and so did JCZ. Whereas this time, you see Artis actually able to get much more value, like you were saying, and find more opportunities to fight. Although everyone was just on B the whole time.
Yeah, everything was on B.
Everything.
We saw that tweet.
Yeah, everything was B.
Everything was B except for there was that one brilliant play on A. Where we were blocking shots, the pass-through shots from Cubby, which was pretty epic. I mean, that was like the one MIBR round that I was like, all right, see, A's an option.
There are some bonkers rounds throughout that entire map, to be honest, and it again just showcases how close these teams actually are. I don't think NRG were expecting MIBR to have a good Icebox at all. And even when MIBR are happy to pick Pearl into NRG, we know both of those teams are decent there, it goes the full distance. There really isn't that much gap between these two teams, and who knows the third map.
No, I'll tell you how little gap there was, too. We still have another round to look at. That's round 20, because I think if there's any round that MIBR is going to be kicking themselves for, it's this one here. It's NRG on an eco in a post-plant situation here for MIBR, and they let it slip away.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing that we're talking about, where all the util comes in so handy, but NRG just came in, they ran it down, they ran into back haul, and they could not get denied anything. And obviously this plant spot was so bizarre, because at the beginning of the round, they got the site for free. NRG gave up the site. And so planning in the safe spot really, really ruined the round for them. Obviously not really able to get a kill on that diffuser, and at the end of the day, it's like, what do you do against that? Right,
exactly. A tough spot to be in. A sick thrifty there for NRG, and it would give them the one round that they would ultimately need to be able to take the series in the end. A quick message, though, for all of you Silver players out there, and I guess I should be saying this to myself, too, then, as Silver player represent. Good comms, they can definitely win games. Check out how NRG and Sentinels work as a team in this open mic.
We stay out this and we flood after if they go here. I can go see there.
Yeah, he's not B, he's not B.
Yeah, not B.
Quite see a B.
I can flash the 3 off.
Can you get in, John? Can you get in? We don't need you off. Play Spiral.
I'm playing Spiral, I'm gonna smoke ceiling.
Heaven, in heaven.
Flashing.
Yeah, closes waterfall.
120 on Killjoy.
Flash out of this, okay? Heaven dead.
Don't peek, guys. He doesn't know I'm here.
Try and help Artist if you can.
Oh my god!
Don't peek. Don't peek.
Nice! Planning.
They can be indoors, so...
It's planning first if we play out here.
I can.
Get out. We gotta get out as soon as this goes.
Open tree.
We gotta get back out. Come.
Yeah.
Side.
Come in.
Okay.
Go side right now.
I'm blind.
Close. One more default.
He's middle side, 29.
Just side.
One more.
Bye.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm blind.
Lock tapped it.
Nice! He goes there.
Yeah, I'm flashing, ready?
Go.
Flashing.
Yeah.
Fine.
I'm blind.
He's in the smoke, around us.
More, peeking.
Nice.
I'm smoking. They won't expect your god, John, if they're god.
Come, Artist, you're just gonna bait me, okay?
Yeah.
They might have dog.
Do have a wall or something?
No, no wall.
I'm gonna smoke off tree room. Wait. Everyone
Hit,
hold.
hit, hit. Nice.
I smoked
Baby tree, baby tree.
Molly's on.
Yes!
Let's go.
I got.
Yes! Good f***ing retake. Good ult off.
Tens. Come on, buddy.
Communication is key as always, and I think doubly so when you think about moving on to a map where there's so little data about how either you or your opponents are going to play on that. And that's what we were talking about when we looked at Split being the third map in this series here, Athena. We don't know much about how these teams are going to approach it.
Yeah, I'm actually curious if it's going to come down to another comp diff, because we've seen both these teams have their moments. We've seen both these teams have players that can multi-frag. We've seen both these teams delay, post-plant, retake, everything. So I think for this matchup, obviously with how close it is, it's going to be really, really interesting to see, you know, which comp is going to take it to the next level, or if it really is just going to be a one-sided map for either one of these teams.
It's so bizarre because they've both recently played against Loud. That's their both most recent games, and they got destroyed.
Yeah,
by
not
Loud.
many rounds.
13-3, 13-5. So I think also another part of this is which of the teams has been in the lab and created something different. And that might be a comp change, or that might be a different way of approaching the map, or it might just be getting more familiar with it because some of these teams, you know, haven't been scrimming all of the maps. Not many teams have a full map pool to really work with. So I don't think we know which team is going to be favored here whatsoever. It can go in either direction.
No, so let's wildly speculate, shall we? No, I mean, what really I think one of the questions too becomes, what did you learn in playing against that World Championship team in Loud on this map, right? Because you could just as easily theory craft it yourself. You can also take a loss to another team and try to emulate that going forward.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they know there's an A site this time. Who knows?
One can pray. One can pray.
I mean, the B site was working. Why would you change it?
Yeah,
Why
right?
would you ever run towards A when you're winning every attacking round on B?
Yeah.
I mean, neither team could stop it. Split is so different. There are so many different comps that can work here too. And if you're going to look at the obvious like duelist matchup, Artis has got another good opportunity to play Raze.
Yes.
They could play no duelist compositions here pretty easily too. You can play double smokes. That's viable. People have played double duelist. That's viable. There's so many different ways that you can approach this map. And I think more so than any comp being better than anything else, personally, my thought is it's about the approach that you have and how much is like drilled. To me, Split is a lot about how you retake space on the defense side. Do you have a protocol where you can retake B main in the mid round in order to gain back that information? And I think proactivity is going to be key. When I'm looking at these two teams, MIBR are fearless.
Yeah.
I don't think they even need a plan to retake areas. They're just going to swing in. Just absolute Chad behavior.
Yeah, I think NRG starting on that defense side is going to be really, really important for the momentum for the rest of this game. Hopefully they bring the momentum from that last map into it, and they kind of show that, you know, we can be fearless too, because like you said, I mean, taking map control, taking that early space, or being proactive is a lot better on this map than just being purely reactive.
All right, well, we do get a Raze, and actually a Raze on both sides, so he's going to flip over to the Raze from the Jet, but it'll be Victor manning the Raze here on the side of NRG.
It is a swap up, and it's actually somewhat reminiscent of the kind of times where we've seen them play, you know, Lotus before, Crashes in FNS, out there playing the double flash kind of composition. Didn't work great from them there, but I think Split's more of a map where Victor can be empowered to just dive in super deep and get those entries working.
Yeah, I mean, that stun coming in with the flash, the dog clearing space, like I think it's, again, a lot of work for Jet to work with, but again, we do have the double controller, so they do need that extra initiation to kind of set it up.
Well, there you have it. We all know that MIBR loves to go to a third map, so this was basically inevitable. Let's go ahead and find out, though, who comes out on top as we send it back over to Van Silly and Riv for the call.
Thank you so much, Dash, Athena, and Mustacho. Yes, indeed, third map being split, and, you know, Sideshow was wondering who's going to be in the lab after they got, you know, both losses to Loud, and it seems like both of the teams did, because we have a switch up in comps, a switch up in roles, especially into the NRG camp, and we're now looking into this game where, you know, we're going to try to figure out who's going to get the best out of this, because this is brand new for both of these teams going head-to-head, face-to-face with these different comps.
God, let's zoom in. Seeing the size of Split was disorienting. The size of this third match and what it means for both teams too. MIBR, like the Death saying, enjoying third, so they know what it takes to be in a match that goes this far this series. And NRG is going to start on that defensive side full util spread. Here we see 4 artists across the map. We talked about that role change. And keep an eye on how it plays out. Early utility to come out, figure out what's going on at A here. As Victor is deciding whether to go back and forth. It looks like a re-hit from MIBR, but they're going to cut noise for now.
Lots of frenzies in the hands of MIBR too. Uriz with the ghost. Trying to clear it out, allowing here a little bit of that space to be gained and work towards the A heavens. Meanwhile, for Victor, trying to get a lucky spray through the smoke. But is going to find information after this boombot comes out. As soon as it pings something, oh, he hurt the shots at least. But it won't activate the pain shells quite yet. Only spotting the Viper is huge because this is still no indication that it's a hit towards the A side for MIBR. Usually just a lurker playing that. A little bit of tap damage being done, and Victor's done his job.
On util search right now. Just bounty hunting whatever utility they can find. Is a nade up towards the heaven area possibly? No, Heat's nade is down. They're going to have to take this by force.
And Som doesn't have any stars to go for Gravel's paint shells, so he's just trying to peek out with the frenzy. Nato's starting to push him away, but we're committing now inside this B site for MIBR. Artis trying to fight back and will be able to do so. Uriz trying to gain control of the map, dropping from the heavens.
Artis?
As the fault line comes through, the assist for Som to get the kill. A 3 versus 1. FFRZ answers back. Plan attempted, running out, gets a headshot to finesse, but there's not going to be any plant coming through. The round is still going to come in for NRG.
Incredible classic use there, as well as just overall picking up the last frags in the round that are necessary by NRG. So strong in these rounds, and we actually see the retake here. It is a difference as we watch the replay of a compositioning having that double controller, but also you see NRG with this breach. So good at retaking on split in the alleys and little hallways that breach can really use the fault lines and flashes. So NRG will always be very happy to kind of swarm back into the site with this composition that they have, backing each other up on that util for the double controller of MIBR. Now to the right side, we see this Viper wall already down by Muriz. Same as first half, so rinse and repeat for the first few seconds.
They can cuss.
See how they take the play after this. No damage there. I thought that actually was a dog bite real quick. And another point to that is, you see that he makes it up that ramp by himself. It's going to have to be a guiding light, right? This isn't an Omen comp. There's no paranoia to help that. They all have to work together very big if they want to take this space.
Just trying to slow things down. Pain shell for fault line. Flash to allow MIBR to move up towards the A ramp. Slow lurk though. This could, oh, okay. I was gonna say this could be another one of those, let's go down the ropes and then move in here towards the B heavens. Trying to prod the map to see where they could get an opening. Instead, it's space gain, no kills. And MIBR looking to regroup here towards this A heavens.
Just kind of figured out how weird it was that Victor still has a frenzy and 1,500 in credits, getting the first kill of the round. Yeah, NRG making this work and stalling MIBR out on this A hit.
23 seconds left. Now you gotta move. Prachi is trying to keep the trigger discipline. Yes, he falls, but at least is good enough for the last two to pick up the last kills. And that becomes a clean bonus round for the third one, it is.
Yep. Yeah, they're gonna have a lot of money, so if they want to buy for the bonus, not a problem. Okay.
They are?
No shot. An operator on Victor's raise here on that defensive side. It's going to be shooting down through the rope area.
On bonus round.
On bonus round. You have the chance to give this to Heat, and it'll be a quick tell if they win the round and Heat doesn't want to pick it up also. It'll be interesting to see. Same wall coming out from MIBR. They're going to be playing towards the left side of the map and actually putting a little bit of pressure towards mid, so Victor could choose right here.
Chose right indeed, satcheling away. Heat falls, so that's not no op in the hands of Heat. Into the ground round for MIBR. No capitalization on space gain for the Brazilian side as early with 1:20 left on the clock. Just gotta try to figure things out.
Alt orb for lockdown. Could be a quick FRZ play if they want to get themselves into the site with no trouble. They have to lock this. They have to clear that spot though. Dry peeks it and gets hit by Victor.
Almost
right spot, right time. Yeah, twice in a row now.
RGL got hit down to 19 HP and had to be re-healed by JZZ. That was almost a collateral from Victor, who was put a huge impact into buying this off early in the bonus round of NRG. And now it's time for W Streamer to do it.
Got the dog.
Yeah, indeed.
One down.
Falls
One
back.
shot, one kill.
Has support right now from Finesse. Fully flash coming out here from JZZ as a fault line comes across. A kill from above. Maurice lurked up from the B heavens. Snakebite though missed. Oh, Som does get the hit onto Maurice.
Player standing.
But couldn't get the second one there onto JZZ. It's up to Artis, a 2 versus 1. You can definitely see though for MIBR, focusing more on trying to win the round instead of capitalizing on getting that operator. Artis does not have the weapon for this distance on this high-low. And it's too weak for JZZ's peak. And that's going to be the gun round coming in for MIBR. And we will pick up that operator in the end.
Did they? Oh, they finally did. It seemed like they were considering it. And remember, that was a huge round from Victor to win the Frenzy out, and you can see what kind of money NRG have. So that's why they purchased. No worry for the NRG fans. They still have money, but MIBR is going to be hungry with this op. FRZ takes it, Van Silly. So you're going to keep the lockdown alive. Let Heat run forward. You want FRZ to play more of a protective position this round, so that lockdown is available. Crossing the map, they got the 3-2 split like they like to, with one in mid and one on the extremity, as MIBR looks for this ramp play. Oh, no control there. Nice job by Artis.
Phantom Supremacy once again through smokes. And that's the lurk down. That's the smoker down. And any type of stars coming down may indicate just a full hit in for MIBR. That said, you mentioned the operator in the hands of FRZ. This is not unorthodox. We've seen that on that second map of Pearl. Now Turret spotting a couple of players, and Victor is about to get pinched from both ends. Boombot now coming out. Victor looking for timing on the top. Oh, and RGL comes down.
No way.
And as he is aware of that, turns around a little bit too late. RGL still gets the kill.
Great patience, too. Just crashies, trying to find an audio coup, trying to figure out where he could use this guiding light next. There you go. Waterfall down? Oh no, straight up top. And here's the lockdown we were talking about from that orb grab previously.
30 seconds left.
Artis is just trying to stay back there. Crash is staying in the back.
Spike.
Of the radius.
Spike's up top.
Of the Oven gets 3 kills into the round.
Player standing.
That's a 1 versus 1. 16 seconds left. Now FRZ picks up the Vandal. Crashy's just holding his ground.
10
Seekers
seconds
are
left.
available. He's not using it. He's just looking instead to get posted up for the kill. He gets 4 into the round. And that's 3 for NRG.
It just does not matter for NRG. They're switching roles from map to map. Crashy's still feeling comfortable here in the back of the site. Being pushed out by the lockdown, too. Had to back up quite a bit there and still get that long-range angle. Just another day at work. Doesn't even seem phased. 3-1 now for NRG. Ultimates on their side here for the Cosmic Divide on the side of MIBR as they look to focus mid. MIBR keeping the wall up towards A so they can always play toward if necessary if they decide to go rope or anything different. Mailroom delivery coming through.
And it's returned to sender. Victor getting the first kill, but thought he would get the second one onto FRZ. At least Crashes is there for the trade. And that pressure you mentioned there from Finesse, bringing out the breach into the play.
So good.
The mid-round fault lines, the pressure they could add in. It's just too much now for MIBR. The release from that battle, a lower buy that you had on the attack. Maurice is just waiting to see if he can pick up that judge. He's gonna get it here. So that's 2 judges now in a Vandal. For the attack side, to just cut noise and try to refine information. And that's great information right there. Courtesy of Crashies. Scouting all the way from spawn. To allow FNS here to just, or should I say even Artists to play towards sewers and wait off this alarm bot if the hit's gonna come to A.
Oh, Crashies.
30 seconds left.
Just waiting.
Saw a gun.
Here.
The barrel of RGL pings it out. You're just gonna let them through. Okay to play the retake is NRG, allowing MIBR to move out towards the A site. Artis, meanwhile, is just waiting for this wall to come down. The timing on that.
Timing.
10 seconds
He's about
left.
to get backstabbed here by the judge. Upgraded into the Phantom. And the plant will then come in.
I think they know Marise's position.
They have to, especially after these see.
Yeah.
divided.
Cosmic Divide then coming out in the attack, trying to play behind it.
They don't!
Oh no, unfortunately. And now it's at least the wallbang coming out from Som, and it was the Seekers coming out from JZZ to find that information instead. And both of them now playing behind the wall. Flash available for Crashies, goes towards the elbow, blinds both players, but no swing out. Waiting for the wall to come down. They know the judge is here,
One enemy remaining.
but it's RGL.
A save.
Yeah, RGL and JZZ were just too strong there behind the Cosmic Divide. And that's a Thrifty coming in for the Brazilians. Son trying. Oof, with the less bullet, got the kill. Was able to save that weapon.
Kills all over the map, too. A lot of that mid action started to distribute what was happening at A. I thought NRG was going to be able to take the round. You mentioned Finesse being able to use that breach utility. We kind of talked about how hard it is to follow a raise, right? How far ahead was he when all of that utility to shut down the rest of his team came in, but did not matter. MIBR still weathers the storm, even numbers down, able to push themselves into A and get a really nice plant and post plant. Really deep back lurk here from RGL, actually. Starting off the round, waiting to make sure he doesn't get hit by a guiding light all the way to spawn, and still playing behind that vending machine. All right, push up here for NRG. How much space does this gain them, though, in terms of kills?
Crashies might have a surprise.
Yeah, that was cool by Artis. Oh!
Still wants to play it patient. It's not being cleared yet. But at least it's info for the rotate to go back towards this B site. We are playing close. This could be contact with a showstopper on top of that. Despite a lower buy. There's Crashies upgrading that weapon there. The clear comes across. Song gets 2 kills. Showstopper out! Connects onto Heat. And they spot the last player. A 3 versus 1. Spike now picked up. FRZ committed to move towards this B site. A kill in the plant allows for a lockdown to happen. And Finesse is already there to support. Flash available, pushing FRZ back. Gonna be an orb pickup instead. Still time to work with. And still an opportunity to turn this round
30
over.
seconds left.
Back in favor of MIBR if FRZ could clutch this, but now with 20 seconds left, it definitely seems like it's a sealed deal. And NRG's Thrifty is gonna come back in their favor.
So MIBR play this round thinking NRG's going to push, and they just delay the push. And then, in
10
fact, do
seconds left.
exactly what MIBR is expecting, and somehow MIBR cannot return fire. They get completely caught off guard. Big props to plays over at A.
Thrifty.
We saw the guns being picked up and the patience being played by NRG. Thrifty's back and forth now as we're on to round 7 here of Split. So that's definitely going to hurt the economy a little bit. See what kind of buys we get in here for the side of MIBR. And this base was taken so quickly and so unknowingly, right? There was a few jumps behind that vending machine down towards spawn, but NRG continued to slowly walk up. I mean, why not? MIBR usually rushes sites, right? So if you're taking that space, it's usually going to work out.
And they got that Thrifty off the weapon that Som saved on that previous round. So the Phantom allowing 2 kills to happen for NRG this time around. It's MIBR who had a Vandal save into this round, trying to see if on the attack they could do the same thing. RGL also buying across. They saved the Econ from the previous round, so it's 2 hero rifles. But they've already lost heat early in this round.
Yeah, he cooled down very quick here. And even if it was kind of a utility search here by MIBR, that has been brought over to the side of A. We can see a new setup coming from Artis there. And it may actually play right into their hands. MIBR could full walk into this. The flank's going to be coming in from JZZ. He's had such an impact in these games, topping the scoreboard quite a bit. And this would be one of those rounds, this frenzy flank would come in big. Without heat, this is so hard to take. They have to be right behind each other. quick hit. They're hoping for something for Maurice to pick up here. If they can get a kill, Maurice gets a gun, and then they can work the map with a few more
30
weapons.
seconds left.
Knowing that they're at a disadvantage just in that sense makes them move slow. A hit coming in as they waterfall out.
Flash and a double peek. Crashies was only able to grab one. Artist
should
also
run.
falls. So those 2 rifles into this round.
Yeah.
They do have an answer for it for MIBR.
Spike planted.
Now, as the lockdown comes out, that forces NRG to play outside of the radius and to play a later retake. But that's time wasted off the clock. Also time wasted off the Cosmic Divide set up by Som. As now it disappears. JZZ with 2 flashes still available. 1 weapon upgrade coming out here from the last player that didn't have one. And as JZZ continue to work in, wow, we are answering right back.
Yep.
Nice.
With the low weaponry here for MIBR.
Getting as close as they can, I think, was the most effective thing there, right? NRG would have good crossfire. The Vandals just able to back each other up. But if MIBR can get there and play the close angles as they did, really plays into their favor with how aggressive they start hitting things. And here in the back, FRZ was still in heaven. They were giving themselves an out if the 2 players of MIBR even went down in sight. So MIBR is being able to put things together here and get themselves ahead of the situation, making it that much easier. I don't think we've seen a change really for Maurice on the right side. It's always watching what the rest of the team is doing and how they formulate this mid strat.
Second
Finesse.
time here for Victor.
Kill there. Finesse trying to push up into a B main, but it looks like they stall it out with Victor's kill. So
Just the same thing. Is he gonna go B
Yeah.
and get a collat?
you wonder, right? You're always changing your position as a sniper after you take the shot just to keep a team guessing. Here towards B heaven. Sight might be clear, but they're ready to defend it.
Gosh, what a 180 to get that onto Finesse. But thankfully Som is there and also Victor.
Yep.
Spike down B.
1 through the wall bang, right into the chest of RGL. That's a spike down. FRZ trying to clear some space, the timing to lurk out towards spawn. He's able to get that kill onto Som. Alarm bot and a pin out. And a pit out. We get a plant for long.
Oh,
Walk in the pit. Artist gets the pick. It's now only up to Maurice. Trying to just stay close as he can here. Flashed out. Cannot now move into his own pit. Now as it comes down, all 3 players are there to greet him. Even Crashy's bearing a gif of a guided light in his hands. And NRG will get the defuse.
Right, that operator and clotheslining people. Victor is just getting into these peaks so quick, and there's no escape. He's peeking like a jet would peak, right? Almost like he knows how to do it.
Yeah.
It's working out too well. Operator still in the hands of Victor. 10-6 as the timeout gets called. Phantoms purchased up around us, Vandal rather, as well,
planted.
for the side of NRG.
Remaining.
But confidence in the retakes here. I think they're getting a good read at what's happening on the extremities of the map. Seeing that wall come up, I feel like they know a flank from Maurice could eventually come in. So while NRG is holding the sights, they're waiting for a lot of the util to be seen first before they act, meaning, hey, have we actually seen...
Yeah.
We're gonna try to figure out here what we could do. So Victor was there opping with into the ropes on the top of mid. Maybe this timeout is now okay. This is the second time he has the operator. He still has it into this round. They have great opportunities now to maybe work up towards the A ramp and also towards mid, because we were able to forfeit that into like the first picks after Victor goes for the attempt off that. And if there is a way that we can pin him inside the vents, it's a great way to get an early player advantage.
And you see already set up in the back, Finesse. Looks like they get ready for a fault line down the middle of the map. Oh no, they switch it up real quick. They could be going for a fault line off of A ramp here. Finesse instantly changes position, and they're looking to get maybe a push forward here. Finesse lining that up. Mid play is the answer again for MIBR.
Okay. So it's a turret to try to watch the cross.
Yeah.
On this mid pressure that MIBR brought after this timeout. A Trailblazer to put Victor into a position to opt towards A main. Here's a jump spot coming out here. Misses a shot, but at least a swing comes out from Crashies after the Seekers to get the kill. That now forces MIBR to just rush up towards B Heavens and try to drop into B. Nano starting to push Artis away. And even Som playing passively outside the B site. But all those Seekers allowed all of NRG to already rotate up towards spawn. Staircase, the pinch is coming through. But there's players holding out towards Mail.
There are a lot outside sight here, Vansili.
Paint shells on both ends, Artis and Crashies on that flank. Dropping all three players playing outside the site that you mentioned, Riv. Only one left to go. Pinned long range by Artis. And that looked really good for NRG.
That's a tough spot to defend. There's so many angles to come from, and it's not a usual protocol to defend it you have, so that's all in the moment. NRG swarms MIBR. That's a defuse for Finesse for Rolling Thunder to come into the next round. And yeah, just a bit of a mishap there on the post plant. The round looked good from MIBR. I think one of the big things you pointed out, Vans, was the Seekers forcing the hand of MIBR to say, well, we don't want to get caught by any of that, so they all try to get into sight, but really just find themselves with one person in sight and three people trying to hold the defensive position. It did not work. That Rolling Thunder ready. Look at this, maybe a push-up, guiding light, as you see the positioning of Finesse as well. Keeping an eye on the protocols they set up here just to shut down MIBR in the beginning. They've left mid, though. It seems like Heat feels comfortable pushing into mid and getting a bit of space to get this fight. Maybe he wants some revenge on Victor.
Yeah, as much as MIBR likes to work towards the mid, it also seems that the game plan for NRG is really to try to fight Crashies against Maritz, not really allowing this IGL to really get the lurks like he did on the second and even the first map. That seems so long ago.
Yeah,
that's well done to keep him towards his toes, on his feet.
Finesse backs up for a nade, waiting for that fault line. But also, again, the Rolling Thunder. I'd say NRG's playing really far forward for this Rolling Thunder, too. Inside the site, they won't be able to use it right away. And once they find where Finesse is, I think this actually changes MIBR's decision right away. Make sure they go towards or away from that utility. And they're going to try to push from the outside here on A.
And a Rolling Thunder right away to cancel out the Seekers coming out from MIBR. Yes, it hits a few, but only good for the delays, allowing all of NRG to just be posted up and ready for that eventual hit of MIBR inside the A site. And that's Finesse spraying through smokes, getting the first pick off onto JZZ. We're still closing in. Crashes inside the site, playing outside of the Nebula. They're going to let the plant down, and Maurice gets a nice pick off that Bulldog. Aggressive position. Som gets the pick onto FRZ.
3v2.
And with the cockpit, the close range with the shorty. Victor gets the pick.
Player standing.
And couldn't pick up the gun on time. Close range now. Som making it a 1 versus 1 against the IGL. Only with the Bulldog hiding on the other side of the wall. Now Star comes in. Oh, he heard the jump though. He heard the jump and Bulldog. Wait, side! Wait! Oh, the smoke! As that a wall comes out, he swings back out, gets the kill! The 3 into the round!
To see those types of games being played at this level, Vansili, absolutely amazing. Som able to come up with the clutch there, and both players pushing each other to the limit there to try and get the most amount of information. Som, smart, an instant astral form to find himself a little bit more cover and cause Maurice to have to play that touch and go, jump in and out game to get the info he needed. Patience. Cool, calm, and collected. Cool, Som, and collected, if you will. A nice round by him. 7-3 now. NRG taking the lead here. The Thrifties started to affect both teams, but it seems like NRG has been able to break away from that.
Yeah. It was definitely a lot of back and forth, and until we had not only an operator, but an operator with rifles for NRG into this half, it's been working well. And Victor, ooh, the aggression, the confidence. Spotted by the turret of FRZ and falls back here at top B heaven, still posted down with this operator.
Finesse still delivering those early fault lines to keep MIBR off of any insta-rush. Som gets first contact here, seeing one into that B main area. So a few bits of information. I think MIBR almost wanted to give up, right?
Yeah.
And get the peaks. If they're seen, that's fine. And now they can start to switch up their strategy and do something different. What a push into A up at heaven already. Not going to get too far with an aftershock in their face. But it looks like they do want, MIBR wants to go through vents in the end here.
Counting the utility being used, though. Artis was trying to get that flank across. And that's counting the utility that Finesse was using up towards A heavens. That's an opportunity to move back up. So NRG had to make a move. Figure out that they could play the numbers advantage. Trying to get a flank across, but all of those angles, all of those attempts fully denied until we're still pushing towards the B site. Stopped by Victor, at least to start. Som, unfortunately, is going to get timing here by Heat. Okay, it was close. 17 seconds left. Now footsteps rotating across towards A. And this might still actually be a save coming out from Victor no matter
10
what.
seconds left.
Keep that up.
Being hunted, though.
Showstopper's ready, so you don't need an orb for that, but you are right.
Spike planted.
Blood in the water. They smell where Victor is. No movement yet from Maurice, but he is hunting, as you would expect. And this will be the true test, right? He picks up the op, says thank you, and starts delivering the medicine back to Victor.
Well, might give it to FRZ if anything, too.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, they've been playing the Vandal onto Heat so he can continuously go forward. Keep those quick plays up. Uh-oh.
Spaghetti.
Done.
Sorry, you got that in my head. Close range, and that's a shorty onto Heat.
So good.
Spike, of course, will go off no matter what. MIBR will get 4. But this will be good for the confidence of Victor. There's another one in. Seems like even that Spike is taking forever to go off here. As looks like Victor will be able to save the operator again. It was starting to get really expensive there for for JZZ if they wanted to continue to chase him and hunt him down.
Say maybe not. We can still secure the 7-5, but we need some weapons to do that.
Exactly.
So NRG calls the timeout. Victor Showstopper, ultimate. So much to be used here, and they have to worry. Probably just a reminder, the lockdown's there. Be careful of what can happen if Heat grabs the Showstopper as well. So maybe a bit of control to the ult orbs to start here for NRG is what we're talking about in this timeout, because that could be an easy way if MIBR secures an ult orb to see a 7-5 half and they bring one more into their favor.
There's timeout coming out from NRG. Is it exactly with that? You mentioned that Showstopper, an opportunity for them to play a little bit more aggressive like they did on their Thrifty, but just try to keep that back here on this retake. I mean, when it comes down to that, they have a great opportunity for NRG to play the retake into the round because the Cosmic Divide is also available for them on the defense. So post out of that op, trying to figure out where MIBR could be going, which again, it seems that they're putting a lot of focus for the attack side to get that lurk up at least towards that A ramp. That alarm bot doesn't seem to do much, but it really helps NRG set up here and be aware of the eventual single double push of the players over at MIBR towards this A ramp.
Spike is actually with Maurice this time on the side of MIBR. This is not normally what we see. That's a solo play for the most of every round so far. And a little bit more patience. So I think this sell from MIBR on B becomes a little bit stronger now. They go for more util, maybe a molly or setting up the alarm bot. There's the alarm bot.
Some was on a one and done, but decides to pull back instead. And it's a lockdown, but a fake Elise from MIBR rotating over towards the A side. Still 2 players from NRG inside this A side, off angle, trying to get the delay. The fault line coming out from Finesse. And Artis catches Heat, jumping across. Even a Cosmic Divide to make things difficult. And everything's just working so well now. Off that kill, Crashies pops out the Seekers. That's gonna spot the last 3. A little bit ahead of one Seeker though, as FRZ is able to pick him off. And Victor's waiting with this op. No util really available, so it has to be a body peek. And Victor capitalizes on that kill. Showstopper to come out, and we are running away right into the crosshair. A Som and a long range. Wow. Showstopper coming out, playing Riot Arena as NRG once again finished the half 8-4.
Timeouts or not, that round was played so well. We talked a little bit about disconnecting the team from their duelist. That's what the Fault Line's doing, and that's what we saw them do right there to shut down MIBR and possibly getting a 5th round. Let's throw it to the desk, see what they feel about this 3rd match between NRG and MIBR.
Thank you very much, Riv. Right now, it's NRG sitting pretty, 8-4 on the first half. It's a nice round lead that they have for themselves. I'm going to go straight to you, Sideshow, because as we were walking over to the desk getting ready for this halftime, you said it. Heat is struggling right now in the first half.
He's having an absolute mare of a first half. And part of the reason is that he's playing a very aggressive race style, double blast packing into areas when they're playing a comp where no one can follow that up. I mean, one piece of utility, whether it's a pull, a fault line, whatever, separates him from everybody else, isolates him, and then he dies. He's got 5 first deaths. What was he, like 4 and 12 or something? Died every round of the half. It's just been brutal to watch.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps trying to take that mid control too, and it's like none of his teammates can support him, exactly what you said. So I'm really interested to see coming into this next half, like how they're going to play around the Rays, and hopefully they're going to be trying to counter the Breach, because Breach is going to be able to stun him off angles, and if he's going to be able to pick up that op, is he going to be able to actually use it this time around?
Yeah, we're looking for something different out of MIBR in the second half, because right now everything's working for NRG. Speaking of things that are working that maybe shouldn't have, this round 4 here for Crashies.
Crashies should get 1 in that spot. And he gets 4 and wins the round.
He knows it too.
Yeah.
That's the greatest deadpan I've ever seen in my life. But he gets away with the 4K and a solid lead for the team. Yeah, Heat unfortunately struggling on the other side of it too. We're looking at Victor on the Rays, who's been set up a little bit better by his team, and you can see it play out in the stats as well. 390 ACS.
He's also just been opping, and they can't challenge it at all. There's only the dog that really is effective at pushing him off angles. He's not going to be opping attack side though. He's going to be doing what Heat's trying to do, double blast back in. But he's got flashes, he's got stuns, he's got 2 initiators that can help him a bit better.
All right, answer the question before I was going to ask it, which is, yeah, does he have the kind of support behind him that will enable him to get more effectiveness out of the Rays where Heat wasn't able to find it?
Yeah, I think for MIBR coming in, I don't know about the Rays, but you know, one thing I am confident about is that they do have a lot more stall power. And so I'm interested to see how NRG can kind of use their initiator flashes to get past the double controller setup, because that is going to be a toughie.
Look, they have fought back from worse deficits. We went the distance on map number 2 all the way to triple overtime. We'll see if we can get anything the like here in map number 3. Let's get the second half underway. Back over to our casters.
Thank you, Dash. Indeed, MIBR now taking a defender side and do have a composition that could delay a lot more. The Viper, the Astra, and also the Killjoy. Even the Paint Shells to try to push people back on initial hits. We'll see if NRG has an answer to that going into this. As we mentioned before, first time that they go head-to-head with this comp versus that comp. And at least from our first impression, it looks like NRG definitely has a grasp of how they wanted to play the defense with Victor on the op. This time on the attack, it's Artis, the first one to open it up with the Sheriff.
MIBR waiting with arms open, the Quadra Frenzy strat. Let's see if they can catch one. Here it goes.
Oh my god, it was almost a kill. The dink there down, 22 HP's Heat. Could not escape from that satchel. But there comes the push.
Sheriff.
The support from Artis with the Sheriff and the wallbang. FRZ does have a frenzy against a low HP of Artis. And that spike towards elbow. Finesse looking for some support. Oh, he turns away. Thought that he was going to be able to get that kill, or thought that he got the kill.
Right.
As now Snakebite comes down. Nice push in from MIBR. Artis is only at 9 HP. Reeds now in a position where a body shot could take him, and he wide swings instead. And MIBR, the patience is a virtue, comes in for the pistol round win.
Once they identified there was somebody hiding at A alt orb there in A main, that was really neat. They use Finesse to come back into the round, and then Artis able to clean up that kill. Nice little mind games. Both teams lost quite a bit there. We'll see the buys coming through, not too hard for the side of MIBR.
It was just a nice push and pull too, right? When Finesse moved in to support Artis, that was the cue to Maurice to say, hey, let's just push on the other extremity from screens and just overpower, overtake the players inside the A site. Very well done. Good thinking on the fly. And the thinking now for NRG seems to be that push towards B.
right into Vance.
It's a crossfire. Almost got that frag there onto RGL, but it was going to get traded no matter what. Big flash to come out, though.
Enemy remaining.
And there you go. A third one would have been nice. Heat makes it out with 21 HP. But now MIBR moves into a bonus round with a Vandal.
Do they bring any more into the play, too? I wouldn't think so. We've seen the teams actually going light buys into these sometimes, even on their bonus, if the money's just right. Yeah, I love the play here. It's everybody, it's an all-in, right? Eco save, everybody goes all in, but the flash out of the smoke, sometimes you just need those little sets to be able to get your frags in and pick up a gun that will be able to help you win the round. MIBR looks like they want to get a push here onto A main. They're going to allow Heat to run and
Nova Pulse.
Victor forward.
So well done. The support system, do we have it behind Victor? And indeed they did.
Yes.
A fault line to a Nova Pulse, allowing Victor to get that first kill, forcing even early Nanoswarm out from FRZ on the top of B Heavens.
It was a night and day difference from even how the defense was able to react, right? When we saw that happening and they were going forward, it kind of just got shut down. Heat was taken out in mailroom, and there Victor had so much to work with to make sure that worked. Yeah, Heat's already coming around. Hasn't gotten the forward fight, so he's going to go for the backs now and hopes to pick up quite a few here. The turret looking right at him.
Maybe not as much, actually. It was still pointing towards the garage, so he gets this pick off onto Finesse. Or maybe too much tucked in there towards the staircase of Ramen. So it's a 4v4. Pain Shells to do damage onto Victor. Now players are pinned. Even Heat's falling all the way back towards the A site. Turret now gets the kill onto Victor, unfortunately, as we're trying to move forward and at least break that turret down.
30 seconds
Now NRG
left.
commits into the site. Storm clearing towards the back. A fake clear, and that allows RGL to move in and get two more with the Spectre. Crashy's trying to clutch it out. Breaking his legs, dropping down towards the B site to pick up the Spike. There's only 14 seconds left.
I got the spike.
Always being wary of a potential
10
flank,
seconds left.
but it's coming from B Heaven instead. And MIBR convert the bonus.
That's one of those unwavering rounds that I talked about when we started this match today from MIBR, that there will be times when they will not move. The utility makes them confident, their positioning makes them confident, and even if the entirety of NRG is walking into a site, everybody from MIBR stays. It's not the retake. There we see 3 members of MIBR holding strong in the site, playing an awesome crossfire, even though NRG was knocking at the door with multiple members. It's one of those kind of aggressive things I think the desk was talking about, where you just don't expect a lot from MIBR in terms of staying back, being able to play safe. Now, they're going to be in your face, but that one was pretty interesting. NRG could not cope with it.
Oh! Victor got a timing with it. Satchel's up, down to 31 HP. Support behind with the flash into Vents. But Maurice still makes it out. Looking to fight back towards Mail. Heat creeping up to support him on B Heavens, and unfortunately crashing. Just pops out of nowhere outside of the poison orb. Free kill. And Heat now clears out towards Mail, and that's gonna stop any type of pressure that NRG had at the beginning of this round.
They're going to be walking right into a Trailblazer. Possibly JZZ. No, that util's down now. This push from Artis is going to be even better if they can get B main at the right time.
Unfortunately, only has a Stinger. And with that, with the Nanosword combo, it works out. Only 2 players alive, but one's already inside the smoke. Marie's trying to get a timing. Smoke now dissipates.
Spike planted.
Catching Finesse, puts out the pick. The 2 players on the attack, though, upgraded it into weapons. No utility available, but there's actually still a star there. Moving up towards the ropes. Som is now on a 2 versus 1.
One enemy
Gets that
remaining.
first one as the pick gets pulled down. An opportunity for Som, who now gets lead and flicks across. Was getting peeked out there by Maurice, who unfortunately cannot get a clutch in the favor of NRG. And MIBR in the second half tie up the game 8-8.
MIBR is doing a great job of getting these frags outside the site. We see 2 already coming down in mid, dwindling the numbers of NRG and what they'll have for the post plant. So I think it's great by MIBR to really start getting a win condition early in the round, not giving NRG too much of this space. We've seen MIBR at A main quite a bit, pushing out Guiding Light to even get contact in the beginning. It looks like they're going to put a little pressure towards mid here too if Maurice decides to push all the way out and get a sight check onto mid. 5B for NRG. That's going to be an ult grab here looking for Artis. Oh, they're ready to throw everything in the kitchen sink in Vansili.
Satchel's in right now, pushing forward on the Cosmic Divide. Looking for a plant for long. There's still a Rolling Thunder available too if they want to regain that space.
You should run.
2 ults used.
Lockdown done instead, which should now solidify and guarantee the plant, especially with the Trailblazer clearing out towards the B site.
3 ults used.
And Victor's behind it. RGL's just around the corner as it's looking for potentially a flash play out from Crashies if he has a flash available soon, but it's going to be a walk-off instead. Rolling Thunder then, getting the shot in the back. Crashies then moves forward for that second kill. There's that flash that's available, falls back to safety until Moritz moves through, dropping from heaven to hell. The wallbang coming in, the stars down onto that spike. The tap forcing him away. And it might be our falls back for a save.
Ooh. I mean, if they started getting the defuse on their Vansili, that was gonna feel weird. 4 ultimates and no secure, but that's not the case. 4 ults do secure the round. NRG making sure they can start getting some on something over MIBR there, because it could have looked real bad. MIBR was I think in play to make that happen. The flash coming out didn't hit anybody because of the smokes, but just having the Astra Stars there. So many answers for NRG to keep it going and stop the defuse. So they knew what they were doing. Cost a lot, but they got that round. Cosmic Divide and Showstopper up. Heat really needs to catch on fire at some point soon. Activate this guy, because it looks like NRG have found a way to keep shutting him down. Quick hawk towards A. This is the first time we're really seeing NRG give a lot of love towards this side of the site, with their extremity watch being towards B. And that lurk's going to come in from Artis. Good gamble by MIBR, though.
And all those ults, yes, were used, as there's nothing to be used towards the B having control, but at least a flash to initiate a couple of these trades. A 4 versus 4. So now we calm down, fall back from it, and those ults that were used also allows here for, let's talk about that in a bit, actually.
Terminated.
Artis was still lurking towards mid. Gets the headshot there onto Heat. And that dwindles down to defense. There's no map control now being done towards mid, so you see on that extremity, on that radar, RGL's now moving up to try to close that gap.
Just searching. Yeah, they're trying to get around everything. Gets into the site now. Nice util for delay here, Vansili. They're forced to wait. This could give the rotation now for RGL to come over.
Not affected by the flash behind screens, though. FRZ comes up. Spike is now down. As Saw moves in, while spraying through the smoke. Getting a 2, and of course the last one that was hurt here by the alarm bot is now putting RGL into a 3 versus 1. Economy is very low for MIBR. So RGL is looking to capitalize on some mistakes that might be done here by NRG to maybe attempt to go for the defuse, but if not, it's a save, and indeed it's going to be a save. As you can definitely see it, NRG moving up now, 2 points ahead in this map. And I just wanted to point out all those ults that were used. Yes, it was a lot that was used by NRG on that previous round, but it's also to guarantee the economy to come into a strong gun round into here, and winning this one right now actually puts MIBR in a tough spot.
Yeah, you see their credits incredibly low. Looking at about 3,400 across the board. Maybe a drop here from RGL, so we'll see how MIBR decides to sort out that. If they can reach into the piggy bank here and get a few more guns out.
Spike down A. One enemy
Playing so
remaining.
well within the smokes that are actually thrown into the site. So just like, thank you very much. This is our extra cover. Heat not able to use that ultimate again. Last round down to the judge. We see a few buys. It's not actually going to be a buy from RGL. They keep that money sorted. But this A play, once again, NRG tested all the way up to ramp and then backed out before hitting again. I think they like what they're getting out of, NRG rather, is enjoying what they get out of MIBR in terms of util, in terms of who is actually playing towards a site before they make their decision. So it's becoming that much easier for them. Victor right up front. You see how quick Crashies gets there with him, Van Silly.
And Satchels only broke one of the nano swarms, so that delays a little bit, but it doesn't matter. NRG still makes it inside the site. MIBR is already there, as you mentioned, Riv. Ready to rotate, ready to flood, and it's going to be Paint Shells to initiate. Victor, though, holds back the push initially from a ramp. A late lurk coming out from Artis as his teammates are slowly falling down from long-range battles. Finally, that lurk works out. Important kill coming up here. At least breaks the lockdown. Showstopper then coming out, misses.
It's down.
As Crashes is able to capitalize,
2v2.
punishing Heat. 2v2 indeed. FRZ
Remaining.
can the clothesline, putting Crashes on a 1 versus 1. 35 HP left.
Blinded.
FRZ only with the Sheriff. A tap onto the spike. Halfway now.
No.
Looking to stick it, and Crashes moves down. The headshot and a save for NRG to be up by 3.
A pros don't fake situation. Crashies feels it. Quick peek. Crashies does go down, though. I mean, in that instance, right? You ensure that Crashies is going down with you, but at this point, they have the money to rebuy. So, little things that are trying to be played here to tarnish that economy. And NRG, like you said, has already set them up in that sense. Chat enjoying these last few rounds. No timeouts needed to be called here. Because Crashy pumping up the crowd there. He sits on the edge, so that's a direct pump up to the crowd. Another Red Bull clutch. MIBR will call the timeout, though, to stall things now, as it is getting deadly close to the end of the game. We're on our 3rd map. There was a timeout, or sorry, overtime that was able to be pulled out on Pearl. We can't count out MIBR for that. NRG just seems to have these answers on the map, though. Once they start, this lurk by Artis has been absolutely cutting a lot of MIBR's defenses apart that they want to use for the retake. And very, very big props to him for coming into this game playing so well.
Yeah, that's some great calls, too, by Finesse into the...
Absolutely.
You know, not only into the mid-round, but just into the mid-match. Identifying that push a few rounds ago, earlier on in the half by Heat. Then the push coming out from B main, and they're like, okay, well, if we're not adding any pressure onto any extremity, MIBR feels that. They're going to try to adapt and push into that space. So let's just keep Artis behind. It's been crucial for 2 of these rounds. But also Crashies on these clutches have also been a pivotal key.
Right.
Winning condition here to put NRG up at 11.
And it feels like NRG is just so fluid in the changes they make, whether it's role swaps, whether they go from week to week, changing the entirety of the composition. A lot of flex on this team that makes them so strong. And why people had a lot of high hopes for being a top team after seeing how they come together and play. Being challenged quite well here by MIBR. Victor gives pursuit into ropes.
So close there into the 3rd time. I mean, it worked the 1st time, and then the other 2, they were just inches away. And Trailblazer clearing space, allowing Victor to move up. Potentially going head-to-head against Heat.
I've got your
Now
trail.
Stars are coming down, Seekers out. Initiation and execution towards this B-side. Aftershock to even clear out towards Hell. Artis is just waiting for a peek that tries to get information, but the shots are going to be heard. RGL's at default, and RGL still gets the first with support from Heat just behind him.
Down.
They
B.
just stay in sight. They're waiting for the clear. Still going, though. NRG's in.
Victor answering back. Still only 1 player inside the site. It's RGL dancing away into A main. Caught by Victor,
Last player
but down to
standing.
13 HP, and also down to himself. With the spike on the
30
tap.
seconds
Nobody
left.
peeking out. 2 players up on Heaven as well. It's JZZ and FRZ. Victor looking out, and then that's a nice protocol there for MIBR. The double swing on the peak, off the contact. And they hold a strong defense on this B site.
That's what I was talking about before. That's the unwavering defense. So sure of themselves to come up with this win and an unknown number of opponents running at them, right? They were able to decipher a bit about the round, but imagine if both members of MIBR go down there. It's almost a wash right there. NRG takes the round. But those plays where MIBR is so confident to play off their util, play with each other, can take teams by storm, and NRG was not prepared for two members to be right in their face, clearing the site there.
You almost thought they did because the Seekers did come out on that execution.
Right, but you expect the team to back up, play a little bit safer. Okay, well, the Seekers scared them. They have to have moved. No. They actually hunkered down even more in the same position. But yeah, you're right, though. Right? Everything you expect to have happening, it isn't in that moment, which is why it's so weird.
Yeah, I remember VR definitely didn't want to swing out on trying to find a contact play, on trying to find a peek, and holding the close angles, supporting, making sure that they have that buddy system at least for trades, and they didn't even need to trade. It was just two guys anchoring towards that site and just dropping 3 players of NRG running in. So the timeout being called out by NRG, their last one as well onto this map, at least in regulation. A half buy comes in now onto the attack. As for MIBR, they're leading a lot of players towards the A site to start. NRG just looking to be explosive, orb control potentially on this B side.
Crashy's on a frenzy. They're dipping into the pockets here. You can see the credits for next round, so they'll be okay. But everything that NRG can put on the board here, this is a big round for them to be able to keep it tight on MIBR. A focus is for MIBR here, so NRG could easily get this plant in and set themselves up. Only delayed a little bit by the Viper's bite here.
Satchel's in, onto the top, misses the boxes, but still good. MIBR forfeited the site as Maurice gets sprayed a little bit through the Nebula. Pushing towards the spawn is the Boombot. Victor is just holding W.
They found Artist mid.
But we have a plant towards B main. Yes, it did find Artist towards mid, but it still has the opportunity to play the long range. MIBR, though, doesn't want to give that opportunity until Sam has something else to say. Trade it off eventually. As it's up to Crashies and Artist. The swing out at least for the kill. But as Crashies gets the frag, Artist is trying to come out for the support, and they both get picked off here by MIBR. But it turns out to be a pretty decent Strictly round for 3 kills and a plant. But MIBR once again is closing that gap in this series.
Deja vu, Vance. Are we going overtime again as we get here on to split? Absolutely incredible stuff here from MIBR to be able to keep taking rounds off of NRG, knowing that would be a lower buy round and they could be more confident on the take. And again, finding that flank by Artist so big on the Trailblazer this time. Nobody was lost as they rotated from site to site. And everybody actually stayed out of mid too. They rotated through spawn. So MIBR learning to take the safe route here if they haven't seen where Artist is on the map. And they're going to create a very unsafe route in mid. Viper's pick goes down immediately. So they're trying to put the pressure on NRG to start Fansily.
And Victor's only 1 away from an orb. So they could pick this up and just open the B site to play the plant, and that just nullifies the pit. All 5 players are leading towards this B site. Even Sam is moving towards there too. And there's that showstopper now, ready and waiting. Faking the runaway. Cutting noise, looking for the re-hit potential.
All 5 are together. So this is a complete re-clear of the map. NRG has to move together. They don't want to use any util to take any of these first corners. That has to happen as soon as they get basically within range of heat. And they're going to cut noise until this happens.
JZZ also has Seekers. He's used the flash earlier on, but could actually initiate Seekers. If it pops something early for information, they could be ready for this hit.
Keep an eye on Victor, how far he'll go forward. Finesses, fault lines, what they're going to get.
30 seconds.
Great detection.
The flash and set to find out information, keeping the Seekers for the retake, but Satchel's misses. Still shoots it towards the air and lands it onto JZZ. So it cancels out the Seekers, but Heat then comes in. Satchel across. Victor, though, gets the pick up to RGL. As there's only 12 seconds left on the clock, the spike is actually down. We have to move in to pick it up, but there's only 1 player left. It's going to be Heat. 5 seconds left into this round, and we're at least going to get the plat down.
Standing.
Artist missing. A double swing coming across, and Victor puts NRG at map and series point.
Match point.
That is almost impossible to trade. The swing was there. The 1v1 almost wasn't even created, right? That was a 2v1 in all senses of the word in the speed that they were coming out. Slowed down there. You definitely saw the separation Victor was able to use between them. But instant reset of his aim to get the second shot and a huge play with the showstopper on the way in to deny the Seekers, Vansili. That was a hell of a round from Victor.
There was an opportunity right there with the spike being down out in the open. If those two players of MIBR were able to grab another kill, but it's Victor that had something else to say instead. And with map point, series point, it's a broken economy for MIBR in this round.
If ever a time for Heat to come online with a showstopper, it would be this round. The team's there behind him, Cosmic Divide as well, to defend whatever NRG brings to the table, and they go for mid again, Vansili.
Yeah. MIBR, though, went for 3 players pushing out towards B main, shutting down that spot, funneling NRG into the A site. With a minute left, NRG's just trying to play it cool. Alarm bot too, just to try to identify some sort of push into the late round. As all of NRG looking to move over towards this B site. The first contact being RGL, and it's a grab, well, a flash, and a flash even coming out on the attack, and those nades are gonna hurt RGL. Satchel coming out, Artist gets the first blood.
30 seconds left.
And NRG smells that victory. Now pushing into the site. JZZ gets the kill with the frenzy. 22 seconds left. 2 players are inside there.
Wait a minute.
Swing wide. To allow these kills to happen. The showstopper onto the spike. And JZZ gets 4 kills into the round. Somehow, with a low economy, MIBR are pushing it once again to the distance.
Keeping that site covered. Even with the frenzies up close, pushing in. What a flash onto Victor, shutting that down, in the teamwork here on the left side with Maurice. Absolutely incredible, bro, that they would stay in the site versus that. It's something else.
A frenzy's not supposed to be able to get that many kills when you're pressured.
When you're that confident, it does, Vansili. MIBR has that confidence in stride.
The round changes. Now NRG is broke. Victor trying to do a play. The initiation allow him to get up into the B heavens. And it's quick. It's a rolling thunder into the B site. An early lockdown as well. Just to get a plant in. Because we have the lower buy, we have to play inside the site potentially here for NRG. We're late to move into the site. Crashy still has to cross over, and thankfully nobody from MIBR is there. So the plant comes in. It's gonna be safe. A push towards spawn, and Victor gets the first blood down at low HP. JCC looking to fight back. Seekers to come out too, onto the attack after grabbing the orb, after grabbing the spike.
Maurice
makes it a 4 versus 4. It is gonna get chaotic right here in the spawn, and it's still Victor. We have 3 players low on HP indeed. Victor still gets another one. Finesse with the frenzy. But we might go into overtime right here. Victor picks up a Vandal.
Again, though?
A drop in, the shot, Marin's waiting for it. And for a second time in this series, we are going the distance.
MIBR, when they're down 4 or 5 rounds, see exactly what needs to happen to bring those rounds back. Whether it's going to be on the econ round and they need to go for the throat and bring that reset to their opponent. So many things that they're able to control at once when it comes time. But you have to ask, why isn't that coming out earlier? Why can't they find this earlier? I mean, you got to give credit to that sense in NRG for being able to shut down a lot of what MIBR wanted to do. But Vansili, every time we get to MIBR's attack round, they absolutely give you the rounds that they need.
Oh, yeah. Both teams so far. It's been scrappy for both of these teams on the attack side in the last 2 maps. But it's a treat. I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah. Fault line quick to deny any play towards B. And NRG is going to post up around wherever Victor's operator goes. Look at Crashies, just on a tether, right? Just for a moment as they decide where to go. It's a hit towards B.
Heat misses the boxes. Gets punished right away by Finesse, who gets a flash. JZZ turns away from it, so it's immediately traded off. Saw him playing towards the back of the site behind the Nebula. Support coming out from Victor as well. And it's a 1-for-1. Upshot misses. One of the rare misses of Victor on the operator in a crucial time in overtime against MIBR, allowing the attack to get the plant in. Artisan drops in, caught off angle by GZZ once again, who activates the Seekers, goes in for the kill, cannot get it. The trade attempt not working out, chased by the Seekers. And MIBR take the lead now in the game.
I think one of the things we have to recognize, we already have, but in comparison is if MIBR don't have Heat, they still have JZZ, and you actually see that both of these members are towards the bottom of the kill list for MIBR. It doesn't matter. It's the impact in the frags that they're having when they show up. Sure, it could happen earlier. They could have more ults, but Heat, or JZZ rather, has just been an absolute powerhouse throughout this series for MIBR, and you cannot count that out. Big in the last few rounds to find this overtime and overtime win. And now we get a timeout from NRG, Vansili. So much to go into this next round for their attack. They've been pretty aggressive towards the B site. They really haven't been able to figure out what goes on too much a day. Victor has taken the B main, or B mail room.
Yeah.
With great control from Finesse and the rest of the team. So I think we may see some type of play as such as MIBR go to set up that defense. And we'll watch how they rotate too. Does anybody go through mid? How much are they looking for artists on that flank that can completely flip the round on its head?
And definitely looking at this, of course, apologies, it wasn't like two good attack halves there from both teams. It was actually NRG doing much better on the defense on this map of Split. And now seeing that MIBR was able to capitalize on a round on their attack, and now playing their stronger side on defense, at least with this comp. It's going to be a tough one here for NRG. Backs against the wall. NRG once again looking to bring this into extra innings. And it's a default now for the players. Has Guided Light coming out from both ends into the A ramp and outside towards the attacker spawn. NRG rotating over to support Victor once again for the scale up on mid.
Spike here on Finesse. Guiding Light, fault line through maybe. They can catch Heat here for a moment. They don't have enough confirmation to make it happen. Super calm from both teams. Trailblazer's gonna be the first thing that goes out, and not even a lead on that, right? Instant denial, instant delay coming from MIBR. So I think everybody on both teams can tell there's kind of a default line going. What's being sent out is being matched right now.
The thing is, though, is the utility on the attack is still available now for NRG as they're pushing through. Maurice was able to drop the duelist, the entry of Victor, but Crash, who's already out there. You mentioned it before, a tether always behind the support, got the kill right away.
The solo overtime plays. Marie's feeling good on that one. IGL down now for MIBR as NRG starting to tempt that A site.
And we're wide on the crossfire set up inside A for MIBR. 20 seconds left on the clock.
Still go back.
We are actually going back towards the B site. Pushing across, the satchel's already being used. Now it's a race towards the B. Evans and Crashies and Finesse give the players advantage, at least into the site. And there's also enough time to plant for long.
Vansili, this feels like NRG running an MIBR Pearl strat against them. One site to the next, they rush it, and now it's up to two members, FRZ and JZZ, to keep this game in their favor to get that W, or NRG brings us to another overtime.
And you'd be scared right now because it's JZZ.
Yeah.
That's still alive for MIBR. A late lure coming up towards Heavens. Artist wins it. There's that fault line to come out. As they heard now, JZZ has a flash activated close range. Now spotted on the top by Artist at towards Hell. And Song jumps across with the shorty.
What else?
And we are definitely going into extra innings.
Switching sides. Overtime.
This is a series right here. NRG MIBR. Again, coming in, NRG, definitely. Even on the rankings. On Sideshow's rank list, man. NRG was up there. MIBR maybe creeping up, or is NRG creeping down? Who knows?
Yeah.
Both teams out just butting heads perfectly right now. This is the Valorant you'd love to see.
One thing that he's right, though, is that it is definitely a stacked region from seeing this so far.
Everybody making each other better. That's what you want to see up towards A ramp, and we get a big activation on Heat here. But no ground is gained in terms of agent kills. Just a bit
Travelers are
info.
out. So they know that Crashes is close, trying to get the wall bang on the kill. But all of this for MIBR is just to act for a little bit of presence towards the A main. Still a default. There's still lurkers happening across the map. And it's FRZ creeping up here towards male. RGL winning towards B main, and all of MIBR moving towards this B site.
Finesse. Oh, this is creepy.
They don't clear it. Easy kill. Transferring on to the second one. The spike is down. Ooh, but Heat answers back, and even FRZ gets two. Back into an opportunity for MIBR to close in into the round on the attack. FRZ moving in for a plant, and the plant will also allow a lockdown to happen. So there's the plant, there's the lockdown, and here is NRG. Pressure to fight back. And it's denied once again as MIBR find the lead one more time.
MIBR
Switching
so
sides.
strong on these
Match
rounds.
point.
Confident in what they're doing. Not strong. Both teams are playing strong, but confident, right? Quickly, Heat up towards the top side of A when they're going aggressive. Starting to make people think, well, okay, if Heat's activated on the play, MIBR must be following, but that is not the case. It was towards the other side of the map. It was just to distract. The misdirection play right now is so cool. Even with Finesse coming up with big kills like that, MIBR able to get the post plant and the lockdown. There's FRZ on your screen making those final frags. And it looks like a ramp attempt will start off most of our overtime rounds here, as there's no mid play to come through just yet. Dan's, are they gonna dip right into sight here? They're choosing the Killjoy utility spot.
Oh, we slipped through. Victor slipped through. Got the pick there onto FRZ. As now Maurice is under heavy attack. Sprayed
Wow.
through, then killed by Som. Instantly, NRG moves into the A site. And they get a 5-player post plant.
Need that back.
That was well orchestrated. We usually don't see NRG just activating like that. A lot more goes into sussing out what's the utility, what's the agents. Confidence behind players there as they all go in together. Oof, this retake. A little bit of util to be used. It's not clicking just yet, but this is gonna have to be MIBR dropping in soon.
They're not dropping in,
No,
they're dropping
dropping.
down.
Just dropping out.
RGL still had a couple of stars, but now with that Nebula coming out from Som, that is not gonna make it easy for RGL at all. NRG ties it up one more time.
You get another round of OT. You get another round of OT.
Overtime.
We are going the distance again. Operator for Victor. See where we decide to put this. Looks like it's going to be that fast peak mid. This is where he was able to click onto Heat almost right away. Crowd's loving it. Crowd wants to see some shots come through. I think they're going to need it at this point. The tank is drained. The players need it all. And we're going to see if this solo peak can come in through mid here. Not even going to get the guiding light to start.
Avoiding the flash first, trying to walk in. It's a recall now. Victor in position. Turret spots him though. He still wants to hold it down. Ooh, the spoon. Ooh, the ping for the spray. A good read there for MIBR as the glass cannon just shatters.
That's an incredible way to be able to take out the biggest player on the opposing team in the second round of overtime, to spam through the wall. There's outright knowledge of what the position could be through that ping, like you called, Van Silly. They are working towards this gamble of the Killjoy utility, however it be. They got their work cut out for them on the side of MIBR, and Finesse is just ready to deliver a fault line. Great peeks here from Artis, just trying to tempt in what might be coming.
Trying to beat him in. But MIBR is falling back
40
now
seconds.
because we do have a forward positioning, a forward push from Moritz here behind his wall. The flash then comes across. And as they drop inside
Oh,
fence,
no.
an opportunity for Crashies.
Nothing!
Denied.
30 seconds left.
Into the smoke. Som getting caught off the rotate. Maurice off that lurk. An easy one for the kill. And it's now time for MIBR's chance to get a 5-player alive after the post plant.
One enemy remaining.
Artis.
Last man standing. And it's going to be so difficult here as this agent with nothing to get information early. So only the footsteps to try to bait out their opponents to try to get the kills, but it's not going to happen.
I'm at BR.
Switching sides. Match point.
Defensive side now. They're not going to try anything tricky with the purchases. No operator as well to come out. And I think the trickiest thing, besides the coming out or not, is the fact that MIBR is going 100 miles an hour on these rounds and then negative miles an hour on some of these rounds. Like 40 seconds in your thought was still to be rotating, giving a bit of an idea towards the B defenders that could be the hit.
Yeah.
But no, it's Maurice on late lurk. The thing we've known Maurice to be playing against and for in all of these games. And he just helps capitalize on the round.
But that's not their game plan here on the defense. Of course,
No.
seeing no operator, because you do need heat on that Vandal off whatever JZZ's using. Keeping JZZ alive is actually a key component right now to MIBR's playstyle of flooding back on a retakes.
It's the initiator, right? They don't have a double. They need that utility. If you can keep it safe and sound for the most of these rounds, then that means your retake is going to be that much more effective, right? NRG's working with that double initiator, so it becomes a little harder. But like the Death said, delay for MIBR. Can they put up these walls? Can they lock out the angles that NRG actually wants to see when they hit the sites with this double controller composition? 3-2 split across the map for NRG to play this one out. Looks like they actually might consider the reswitch and how this plays out. So the double initiator is going to play on the same side. Oh, they just go through mid. I got it.
Yeah, it's Som playing the lurk. Has a star already for the cross. Let himself getting known by the guided light being thrown here by JZZ just to keep at least that key player anchored for a little bit longer towards that A site. And yes, back into the mid control for NRG. Heat playing inside the Nebula. 1 star in the defense on the top of the staircase. But it's not used for any gravity well. It's just to time it out after the poison orb comes down. Placed here by Maurice.
And NRG is expecting a huge push. Still watching the backside of sewers since they don't have that positioning right now from anybody on the team. So yeah, they're ready for MIBR to make a move, but still NRG has in mind what they want to do to win this round. It looks like they are going to attempt B here, at least with the guiding light, and see if mid actually allows them to pull back and go somewhere else here.
Snakebite down. So at least for NRG, they know that the Viper rotated across, so
Yeah.
Artis is looking for the lurk on the top of the pick. Satchel's in now, could be a fake. Oh, the flash, not good enough. It's mistimed, and that forces now NRG to fall.
Down B. Last player.
Only one more to go, that's not gonna happen, just on
Defenders
camera.
win.
Heat gets the last kill, and MIBR get the upset against NRG.
Incredibly happy to get that one, Maurice, on your screen. The multiple fist pumps. Heat. Everybody on the quick embrace, knowing that they could win it. And that last round was a choice by NRG to change up how they were going to hit the site. I think that's the first time we had a 3-hit 2 lurk.
Yeah.
And with having the 3 in the site, it was not bolstered enough to deny that unwavering defense that MIBR will sit there like their shoes are tied together and never leave the site, despite the utility that's coming in. Perseverance pays off. Everybody playing to their role here and being able to adjust to energy, changing roles from map to map.
Yeah. A very costly mistake, as you could see the highlights running through, but that last round,
Yeah.
if that flash was only a split second earlier, just to allow Victor to get into the back of that B site,
Yeah.
it could have been potentially a different story because he's been a key player entering the sites, executing with the rest of NRG. But let's just turn the page. Let's change the storyline to how here MIBR, once again, showing grit, fighting back, and even bringing this into overtime and winning it in overtime. a team where at the desk we started off this matchup and it's like we're guaranteed to see a 3-map series coming out of this Brazilian team. But did we actually expect a victory coming out of this one? Did we actually expect these last 2 maps to be so close between these 2 teams? I personally didn't think so.
I think the answer is no. And you know, we got another answer too. Well, we do see big fraggers. We'll call out every member on the side of MIBR. We know that MIBR can win a game without just activating heat. Very much so now. This took the entire team. FRZ with a lot of the flanks, JZZ with a lot of the multi-kills, and Maurice as well calling the shots so they could get the win. Fist bumps in the mid. MIBR feeling very, very good here at the start of the split. And honestly, not even worried about expectations that anybody had about them. They are plowing forward and showing us how it's done.
But when you look at this, JZZ and Heat, 2 players are usually activated. Talked about it at the desk, and even Sideshow mentioning Heat had a brutal first half. On split.
Just shut down.
Even JZZ, he's even at the bottom of everything else in terms of their fragging capabilities out of MIBR. It's another unsung hero that came out. It's FRZ, it's RGL, the anchor plays from both of these players. The support that they're able to bring on the attack to allow MIBR to win this has been impeccable. MIBR, man, they're definitely here to play. They're not a team that should be ranked down to the lower side of the power rankings here in the VCT Americas.
All right, well, we're going to be taking a quick break. We've still got the Verizon post-match interview to go. The desk is going to break all that down. There's more, so don't go anywhere.
about time to get it. It's about time, not forget it. It's about time. Never gonna get up now. Never gonna stop now. Whoa, you roll with me. Whoa, you roll with me.
Welcome back to the Verizon post-match interview where MIBR are coming hot off of an upset of NRG. I'm saying by the JZZ and Mateos as well. And I've got to ask you guys right off the bat, I mean, you're taking down NRG. You're challenging the best that Americas has to offer. Did you expect this outcome? Be honest, heading into the series. Did you guys think you 2-won them like the way you did?
Então, vocês enfrentaram o NRG, que é um dos melhores aqui nessa equipe toda, né? Você meio que esperou essa vitória. Como é que você está se sentindo?
Eu tô muito feliz. A gente sabia sim que ia ser um jogo muito difícil e como foi, mas a gente estava muito confiante com os treinos, com toda a nossa evolução e deu tudo certo, graças a Deus.
I'm super happy about it. You know, they're a very hard team to compete, and we were training quite a bit. And despite all the nervousness and the anxiety, we still took it home.
You can tell there was a lot of confidence, not just in this interview so far, but even in the way that you guys played against them. You mentioned the preparation. Can you tell me a little bit about what that preparation was like against NRG this week?
Então, vocês sentiram muita emoção e me fala um pouquinho sobre a preparação e o treino que vocês fizeram para chegar nesse momento aqui.
A gente fez a mesma preparação contra o jogo da Loud, contra o jogo da Cru, e a gente sabia que a gente estava no caminho certo. Então a gente só manteve o foco, evoluímos com os jogos que perdemos e com o jogo que ganhamos. E acabou dando muito bem, muito confiante a gente estava e deu tudo certo.
Yeah, we were doing the same preparation that we had against Loud and with Crew, and we just kept the focus. And even though we lost some during our training, that just helped us become better, and it led us to this moment.
Led them to a 2-1 win. Now, I want to ask you about overtime in particular. You guys go OT against NRG twice. Can you tell me a little bit about the comms in those moments? Was it calm, cool, and collected? Was there a lot of energy? Tell me a little bit about that.
Então, vocês foram no overtime 2 vezes com o NRG, né? Como é que foi a comunicação de vocês, do time, quando vocês chegaram nesse momento?
Pra falar a verdade, a gente estava muito calmo. Eu gostei muito da comunicação do time. A gente estava muito bem mesmo. E deu tudo certo. A gente manteve a calma, que é o mais importante, porque overtime é emoção, muita emoção. E a gente conseguiu manter a calma e deu tudo certo.
To be honest with you, we were quite calm, which kind of surprised us. You know, we just kept focus in our minds, and calm is the word that comes to mind.
Unreal. Last question that I have for you. Brazil is now 6-1 against the field. Is VCT Americas Brazil's? Does it belong to Brazil? Is that what we're seeing? Is this a full Brazilian takeover?
Então, os times brasileiros estão ganhando, né? 6-1. O que você está pensando? Que a VCT Américas é do Brasil para levar as vitórias?
Acredito que os brasileiros estão muito fortes. Os 3 times que estão aqui são times muito bons e a gente veio surpreender. A gente sabia que a Loud é um time muito bom e a Fúria tá surpreendendo, como a gente também tá surpreendendo muito. E vamos manter esse foco e tentar, né, buscar essas vaguinhas pro Brasil. Vamos que vamos.
Yeah, we know we have like 3 amazing teams out here. You know, we knew that Loud was already amazing. They won last year. Furia has been taking it home, and now we're doing it. So this is very exciting for us. It's a great time for us Brazilians.
I like how you skirted away from the question. You wouldn't give me a clear yes or no. Congratulations on the win. Let's throw it back to Dash at the desk to break down the day.
Thank you so much, Doug. Now, he may have avoided saying it, but I'll go ahead and say it. Right now, this is Brazil's league. What a series. It goes 2-1 the way of MIBR. We get 2 maps going into overtime, triple overtime at that, but they pull it out in the last possible moment there on Split to take the series.
I mean, that's just a bonkers game. Every part of that, the OTs that were happening, map 1 coming out, the icebox kind of strategy that they had to even begin with, and JZZ just woke up. He just at some point...
No business doing what he did in this round.
He was
no business
before this.
This was literally a momentum shift for this team. I mean, you literally were sitting there right next to me saying, like, JZZ hasn't been fragging out as much as he has. And then he turned around and did this. And I think that round was literally where the tides turned for MIBR to kind of get that momentum to shift and push them out into that overtime.
Brother, how are you losing when you've got twice the amount of first kills as your opponent? It definitely felt like NRG's map that they threw away. And I'm not saying that was because NRG made a lot of mistakes, but at the same time, like, they were in control of that game. And I feel like they were in control of the map before as well. And then that ended up going to OT. But it is so difficult to put this MIBR team away. They're so scrappy. They fight every round. They're dangerous on the ecos. They've just always got something going on.
Well, I, to some degree, want to continue the conversation that Doug sort of started or rehashed there in talking about, whose league is this? And at the beginning of the day, Doug and Sideshow here were going through power rankings, comparing the two brain cells, collective brain cells of Bren and Mimi to what you could do.
One brain cell.
To the one brain cell over here. And basically, I just want to throw it back over to you, Sideshow. I pre-populated a few that I figure wouldn't change just based on the fact that they didn't play today. But I want to know, what's your one brain cell thinking about your own power rankings in week 3?
My one brain cell can't even figure out what it's thinking at this point. I mean, Crew played MIBR extremely closely. If MIBR are actually up here competing with NRG, then no, I don't even want to put these anywhere.
You gotta.
I don't even want to put them anywhere.
I'm not letting you go home until you put them on the screen.
MIBR beat NRG, so you have to rank them above, don't you?
And you
but also,
have to.
NRG have done so much more in the past. Dude, I hate it.
Well, actually, you say that, and look what happened here, and you still refuse to, right?
Well, then, how about this?
If you need a permission structure to do it, do it. It does feel wrong. Oh, I didn't grab an NRG. Hold on.
I mean, surely you have to put them here, and surely you have to put NRG there as well.
Are you saying that
to be honest,
NA is just...
This was so close, though. This was such a close game. It could have gone the other way.
Okay.
And you could feasibly put NRG above them for how well they played previously, but, I mean, listen.
All right, what about the remaining 3? Because let's not forget the first series of the day today. All right, Cloud9 taking the win over 100 Thieves.
This team, I mean, I got bamboozled by a win over EG. EG are giving me some fraudulent data to work with. So, I don't know. 100 Thieves look like they're at the bottom of the middle of the pack.
Oh, that's quite a slide.
Well, because it's not so much of a slide, because they were neck and neck with Sentinels anyway. But the fact that I had them the other way around.
You say that, but here's the thing. These things get screenshotted and put out into the Twitter sphere, and nobody knows whether or not you're grouping these teams close together.
But they're all wrong.
Yeah, right?
It's all wrong.
All right, make the final call here. Sentinels versus Cloud9. Does Cloud9 usurp Sentinels, and Sentinels didn't even get a chance to play this week?
I think so. I mean, I think the Cloud9 ended up
lock it in, screenshot that.
Awful.
Go ahead and flame the crap. What do you want to give out your Twitter handle so people can flame you?
Yeah, it's at Brencast.
There it is, at Brencast. Check that out. And be sure to let us know your opinions online as to how you think things should be power ranked here in week 3.5. That's going to about close it out, though, for our first day of week 3. I want to thank Athena for joining us. She'll be with us all week long to break down all of the action. But let's take a look at the standings, because who cares about power rankings?
Yeah, exactly.
We care where the teams actually stand. It is still Loud and Furia, undefeated at the top of the table, but they have yet to play here in week 3. Those 1-1 teams is really where we're putting a lot of our focus, and we had 2 of those matchups today, and so you can start to see a little bit of separation. Cloud9 and MIBR now holding a tie for 3rd place, whereas NRG and 100 Thieves fall down to 7th currently.
MIBR getting the win today actually is even worse for 100 Thieves and their chances, because all of their competition is outpacing them here, and they don't have that many free wins to go for.
Yeah, I mean, we were even talking about earlier how week 3 is kind of where they kind of show their foundation and show where they are as a team. And so if this is what they're showing us, does that mean, do they have a chance in the future?
2 more 1-on-1 teams playing tomorrow as well. Leviathan against Sentinels. I would expect that to go Leviathan's way, but today's been a day of upset results.
Yeah, definitely. And then pressure's on for the second matchup of the day. That's our winless teams there, Crew and EG, that will go up second tomorrow. And so once again, looking to define themselves here in week number 3. That's going to about do it for us here. So we're going to power down the studio, go get some rest. You should do the same. We'll catch you back here, same time, same place. Thank you so much for watching. Here's your Prime Gaming post-day highlights. We're set, so let's go ahead and get Saturday started off right. 4 teams will take to the stage today. Anything can happen. Anything will happen. The battle of 1-1 teams here in week 3. Cloud9 versus 100 Thieves. VCT Americas starts right now.
Look at Jake in a position to make a huge play, and that's a spike. Well out of reach of the remaining members of 100 Thieves, as Jake gets a second to third, is teed up and dropped. The guy continues to answer the call.
Every round, listen, let's not get eagled.
The triple pump fake is taking place. Cry, the only one with ball. You can't imagine he uses it here as Elsis is able to spam through the utility, through the smoke to another kill, and it's clean from Cloud9.
Let's go, Jill. Let's go, baby. Nice smoke, Jake.
Derek is already falling. Jake's being so pesky, and he gets 2 clean shots out from him. The Cloud9 once again find themselves up 1-0 in the series. Derek playing spoiler a little bit. On to Leaf, he gets a second onto Jake too. And oh dear! Right. All good. And there's no go. There's nothing to really send Cryo out. Now Leaf comes through. Leaf gets the third anyway.
But baby.
Flank, yeah, that paranoia's gonna hit a couple. They've been able to mow them down. Stellar gets forward. Stellar gets the ace with one bullet. Celsius wins it out anyway. 2 remain, now 1 for 100 Thieves as he falls. Underdogs no longer. Cloud9 take down 100 Thieves.
We're all set for our second match of the day. It's time for us to welcome NRG and MIBR to the stage here at the Riot Games Arena.
Stop on a high-low. Keeping it expensive for NRG. Saw him is dancing the way through on a 2v1 clutch. Now gets pinged. Has to dance and play behind the wall. Sparkers are coming in. Oh! The shorty for the 2 kills! And the Red Bull clutch had tied the first half 6-6. The lurk then coming across, unfortunately, FNS. A second time that he comes in with a knife out, gets picked off. And MIBR will eventually get the first map here, 13-10 over NRG. Crashy's making it a 1 versus 1. It's Crashy's instead with the Red Bull clutch.
Nice.
Heat dashing forward. The pit then comes back down. And it's NRG across the board. Artis comes back to fight with the rest of NRG. And we are going to a third map. Staying in the back.
Spike.
Of the radius.
Spike's up top.
Of the Alden gets 3 kills into the round. And as JZZ continue to work in, wow, we are answering right back. A double swing coming across, and Victor puts NRG at map and series point. 2 players are inside there.
Wait a minute.
The swing wide.
4v3.
Allow this kills to happen. The showstopper onto the spike. And JZZ gets 4 kills into the round. And MIBR get the upset against NRG.